Tonight on NAIT NewsWatch.
With the legalization of cannabis next week, NAIT rolls out its guidelines.
We look at it from a health and safety lens, and we developed the impairment policy.
The debate over using calcium chloride on the roads continue as the city tries to make a decision.
I think I prefer the corrosion over the collision.
And NAIT opens its doors to prospective new students.
And so to have a showcase of all of them at one time is an amazing opportunity for that group to come.
NewsWatch starts now.
Good evening. With marijuana becoming legal across the country Wednesday, there's lots of preparations underway, including here at NAIT.
Our institute has its own set of policies, and it is working to educate staff and students on the guidelines. Our Ivina Wong joins us live from the South Lobby with more on that story.
Thanks, guys. We already know what the policies are for the government of Alberta, as well as different schools around Alberta. However, here at NAIT, the policies and guidelines are still being finalized.
The procedure itself will be approved and finalized hopefully by the end of this week, if not early next week.
Clint Galloway, the Director of Student Wellbeing at NAIT, says that the official policy and guidelines have not been released yet. NAIT has made it clear that students and staff will not be able to consume cannabis in any form on campus when marijuana becomes legal.
We look at it from a health and safety lens, and we developed the impairment policy.
NAIT student Hannah Tui, who uses pot herself, says she's happy NAIT will have policies in place come Wednesday and believes school is not the place to smoke up.
I think people shouldn't be doing it at school. You're here to learn, and it can take away from that learning, just like if you went to the Nest and had a few drinks. So I think they're treating it like it should be. It still impairs you.
While NAIT finalizes its plan, students will have to wait for more details.
It'd be nice if they could help me out and maybe hand out some kind of brochure or something.
I feel like my views on it wouldn't change due to how the school's views on it with the rules and stuff.
Whether or not NAIT students decide to use marijuana, they won't have to go far to get their cannabis. Alberta will be opening 17 licensed stores, with over a third of them being in the Edmonton area, one of them being Pneumo Cannabis.
We really want to be an education center for the community, and NAIT is a part of that community. So, we welcome any students to come in, and whether you know about cannabis, have used cannabis before, we're very excited to be there and help educate.
With his store just 5 minutes from NAIT, Nguyen thinks his business will benefit. As for Hannah, she agrees it's an option for students, but she also plans on shopping around.
Yeah, I'll probably check a few of them out, see what my options are. Or just like anything else that you would.
As we know, marijuana will become legal on October 17th. NAIT does have a plan to communicate the procedures to students when it is approved. For now, NAIT has sent out postcards, put up posters, sent out emails to student portals, as well as put visuals across campus TV monitors.
Ivina, are NAIT's health clinics prepared to deal with the misuse of cannabis on campus?
So NAIT has reached out to external organizations like the Alberta Health Services. NAIT currently does not have a plan to invest in resources specifically for addiction services. If students are willing to ask for help, they are more than welcome to go talk to a staff member, and they can connect them with a professional who can give them the best services and care. NAIT's nurses are also looking into doing pop-up sessions for cannabis and how it affects the student body and well-being.
What can students who do not smoke pot expect?
So for students who do not smoke weed, they are more than welcome to go check out some programs, services, and support that will be available to them. And student counseling will also be something that they can check out. However, they will also be providing students with contacts and websites to help them get themselves more educated.
Thanks, Ivina. That's our Ivina Wong reporting live from the South Lobby.
You're watching NAIT NewsWatch, the next generation of news.
Debate this week on whether the city should continue calcium chloride roads in Edmonton.
It's a controversial topic, as some believe the mixture is ruining vehicles and roads. Eric Bay has more on that story.
Thanks, guys. I'm down here at the city yard right now, and while this anti-icing truck isn't in use at the moment, what it's putting on the roads is causing quite the controversy. After taking most of the day to debate on Tuesday, City Council decided in a narrow vote to continue the pilot program of using calcium chloride as a de-icing agent on city roads.
I think I prefer the corrosion over the collision.
I still maintain today it is wrong.
Council was vocal and divided on whether calcium chloride is the best option for our roads. It was Councillor Mike Nickel who made the motion to stop using the mixture, concerned that it's doing more damage than good.
I cannot afford your experiment any longer.
The main concern about the program is that the calcium chloride mixture may cause concrete to corrode and also create rust on vehicles and bikes.
We don't see damage in our commercial facilities, but people are complaining about the damage they see on their personal property, and we seem to be glossing over that conversation.
A chemist with Tiger Chloride says that calcium chloride can cause corrosion, but he believes a new inhibitor added to the chloride will keep the damage to a minimum.
So over the last year, we've been really working towards not only designing something that is more tenacious.
The calcium chloride is being tried in place of salt and sand because it is believed to be better at melting snow and ice, which keeps roads clear.
Certainly we hear those concerns from the public about corrosion seems to be the biggest issue, but we also have heard from our public that it's safer and that they see it as safer.
Calcium chloride has already been used for several years on the Anthony Henday and is also used on many provincial highways. Using calcium chloride on city roads has also saved the city over $6 million in the past year. In the end, Council voted 7-6 to continue the pilot program and expand it to another 295 kilometers of roads. They hope that with another year, the data they collect will provide information as to whether or not the calcium chloride does in fact corrode concrete and cause rust on vehicles. They also want to collect collision data where the calcium chloride is being used and see if it does make roads safer. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Eric.
That's Eric Bay reporting from the City of Edmonton's main yard.
The city is giving a chance to ride around Edmonton in a new driverless vehicle. The name of this vehicle is Ella, an electronic shuttle that carries up to 12 passengers and is wheelchair accessible. This vehicle doesn't use a gas, a brake pedal, or a steering wheel. This new technology uses range and light.
The functionality of an autonomous vehicle is it uses a map. So it's what we've done is we've come here to Blatchford and we've created the 3D map, and it operates basically on a route that it's pre-programmed to operate on.
No, I don't. Residents can take a ride in the shuttle until November 4th. To book your ride on Ella, check out ridewithella.com.
A new initiative by NAIT is addressing the topics of consent and toxic masculinity. Student Programs Coordinator Tim Ira is one of the creators of Men at NAIT, an 8-week program designed for men to examine and deconstruct their own masculinity.
So we're only 2 weeks in, and the topics that we've discussed are, what does being a man mean, or what does being told to be a man mean, and what does vulnerability and emotion look like within a masculine framework.
The MAN program requires that participants attend 8 weekly meetings with topics ranging from consent to male privilege to sexual assault. The goal of the program is to have more men on campus who are comfortable talking about these often difficult topics.
Prospective new students will be visiting NAIT as open house kicks off today. Booths and displays were set up all over campus yesterday in preparation for NAIT's open house. Over 100 different programs are being showcased at this event. Chris Warmack has been in charge of planning NAIT's open house for the last 2 years, and he always says he looks forward to it.
We have a lot of different programs here at NAIT, and so to have a showcase of all of them at one time is an amazing opportunity for that group to come, explore their options, have a little bit of fun, and hopefully leave with a positive impression of NAIT.
The open house runs again tomorrow from 10 till 3. For more info, go to nait.ca and click on the Prospective Students tab.
Public speaking is a big fear for many, but a local woman is helping people overcome it with the launch of her book, Public Speaking Skills for Dummies.
This is very day. And what do you do, honey? Stop. And?
Pause.
And?
Breathe.
Yeah.
Lots of laughter was shared in the room. The author Allison Connolly coaches people on their voices and how to be more confident when speaking publicly. We got to chat with Connolly on the difference between public speaking and everyday normal conversation. She says there are none.
Like I have clients that just have to talk to everybody. No, pick somebody in the audience that you're going to talk to for maybe a sentence, and then look at someone else and really look at them and not look above them, because public speaking is a conversation. You're giving a conversation to the audience.
Connolly's book is available at local bookstores and online. She is also getting ready to embark on a cross-Canada tour promoting the book.
A new yoga class has people laughing. On Tuesday nights, this class focuses less on the physical aspect and more on the mental state of students. Students engage in an hour-long full of activities, and in the beginning, laughter is forced, and they might feel silly, but in the end, they end up laughing at themselves. Laughing yoga was created in 1995.
Very good mentally, it gets you relaxed, you have less stress, you fear, your daily fears less, you feel less depressed.
This isn't your average yoga class. There's no physical exercise except for your stomachs getting a bit sore. Laughing hour sessions are held every Tuesday at La Cite Francophone. Coming up after the break, flip phones are making a comeback.
We explore why that is after the break. Regurgitating the same social medias, and then after you're done with the fifth one, the first one just has new posts, so you just stuck in that loop, you know.
This week on Sports, we take a look at your Ooks men's hockey team's home opener, a look at the success of the Ooks soccer teams, a preview of the Ooks basketball season, and a look at all of the sports going around in 45 seconds. Stay tuned.
We've had a pretty cool start to October, but beginning next week, some warmer temperatures are on the way. More weather details coming up on NewsWatch.
So, the UK has just instituted the toughest ban on ivory trade Europe has ever seen. With this exciting button push.
It's 1:59. My ears are bleeding. Underwear required over 40 stitches to her face. Good afternoon, it's 2 o'clock. I'm Jenna Winterburn with your NR92 News Update.
You're listening to NR92.
Listen up, sports fans.
Stay updated on your NAIT sports teams, from hockey to soccer to basketball and more.
Listen at 3:15 for your 60-second sports update on NR92, the station for the students.
The weather has been freezing these past couple of days. I wonder what it's going to look like this weekend.
Well, hopefully better than this morning. Even though there's snow all over the ground, somehow it was still raining. I actually had to break out the umbrella. Drew, is it going to get any better as we go into the weekend?
Yeah, guys, we had a pretty wet start to our day here on Friday. Some precipitation came our way, and we're going to have a little bit more precipitation coming tomorrow in the early morning in the form of snow. However, that will be disappearing by Monday, and we'll be moving into some double-digit temperatures next week, so definitely moving in the right direction. Taking a look at our temperatures now, Calgary will be sitting at a high of +3 for tomorrow, a low of -2, and a 60% chance of showers tomorrow. Moving over to Jasper, Jasper will see a daytime high of +7, a low of -7, and cloudiness throughout the day. Fort McMurray will see a daytime high of +1 on Saturday, a low of -6 for the night, and another mostly cloudy day there in Fort McMurray. And right here in Edmonton, we are seeing a daytime high of +4 tomorrow, a low of -2 in the night, some cloudy periods, and some cloudy periods going on Saturday for Edmonton. Looking at our averages now, the average for Edmonton is +11, a low of +1 for the average. Our record is set back in 1964. That comes to us at +27. And the record low from 1881, -14 for the day. That's a look at your weather. Back to you guys at the news desk.
NewsWatch Weather is brought to you by NR92, the station for the students.
Flip phones are flipping their way into 2018.
Our reporter Firdaus Salatan finds out why that is the case.
Don just bought this LG flip phone about a month ago.
The people at London Drugs, they definitely thought I was a criminal. You show up and you're like, what's the cheapest flip phone I can buy?
While it may be a significant downgrade from his previous smartphone, to Don, it might just be what he's looking for.
It's kind of like hard mode is how I look at it. It's just like you're taking life kind of like vintage mode, like how people used to do it. They actually had to learn it.
He's not the only one to flip back into history. Flip phones are making a comeback in North America, LG confirms that flip phone sales has gone up 30%. Dr. Gans Ferens believes that the reason for the switch has more to do with time management than early 2000s nostalgia.
When we choose to do things and it's a deliberate thing and we have to make the effort to do it, then we have a lot more choice in the matter. We have that space, that time to be able to think, is this really how I want to spend my time? Is this really what I want to do?
So not only do you save time, but you also save money. The iPhone XS is rumored to be priced at around $1,000 US. If you're looking for a more affordable, less excessive device, pardon the expression, you can try the XR, which comes in at around $800 and without any plans. So, as you can see, as the years goes on, these smartphones become more and more expensive. And as they get more and more expensive, you can have these little guys here off at London Drugs for $80. No one really knows how long the trend is going to last and if it's going to affect smartphone sales or anything really. One thing is for certain, this movement succeeded in educating lots of people. For La Salle and NAIT NewsWatch.
We've seen some mixed results for the Ooks team so far this year.
Sports anchor Jake Woods has updates on your Ooks basketball, soccer, and hockey teams.
The Ooks men's hockey team had their first game at home this past Saturday when they took on the Red Deer College Kings in the second half of a home-and-home series. Red Deer took game 1 on home ice 6-2, so the Ooks returned to NAIT looking for revenge. It didn't take long for the Kings to take the lead, as Jacob Wozni would score shorthanded only 3 minutes and 16 seconds into the game on one of the Kings' 19 first-period shots. The Ooks missed a great opportunity to answer when forward Brandon Ralph fanned on a one-timer attempt, which was the Ooks' best scoring chance in the first. The Ooks then stepped up the physicality near the end of the first, starting with a massive hit from defenseman Carson Beers. But that was all the Ooks could muster in the first. However, they came out hungry in the second period, and it took only 78 seconds for last year's ACAC leading scorer, Jake McKittiak, to even the game at 1 apiece. And the Ooks weren't done there, as first-year defenseman Austin Pickford scored his first ACAC goal just before the halfway mark in the game. It looked like the Ooks were going to take the lead into the second intermission when former NCAA forward Ross Height scored his second goal of the season, beating Ooks goalie Brendan Jensen to even the game at 2. The Kings would score again at the start of the third, and despite relentless pressure from the Ooks, the Kings would hold on to drop NAIT's record to 0-2. This is a disappointing start for a team that's finished second overall in back-to-back years.
I think it's obviously not the start that we wanted and everything, but it definitely is going to make us work harder and definitely prepare for next weekend as we're going forward in the season.
It's been a sensational start to the season for the Ooks soccer teams, as both the men and women bounced back from defeats in last year's ACAC playoffs. For the women, it was a heartbreaking loss via penalty kicks, and the men, a devastating 1-0 loss in the championship game. The Ooks wasted no time this season showing that they're still top contenders in ACAC soccer, as both teams have gone undefeated through 6 games respectively. It's the stats that really tell the story of how dominant these Ooks teams have been. The men are first in their division with a record of 5-0-1, and they've scored 30 more goals than any other team in their division. Perhaps the sweetest part, they got some revenge and beat the reigning champions by a score of 6-0. The numbers are equally impressive on the women's side, as they've scored an average of 6.5 goals per game, and if you want a statistic that truly shows the success of this team, the Ooks women have more wins by 6 or more goals than the second place Concordia Thunder have wins total.
I think just we've got a really good group of guys this year who really know how to play the game, and they've been playing at high levels through their clubs or through academies, and I think just the fact that we've really gelled well together.
The Ooks look to continue their success as both teams take on the King's University Eagles in back-to-back doubleheaders this weekend in Millwoods on Saturday starting at noon and Clairview Sunday starting at 2. The Ooks basketball teams are getting ready to start the 2018-2019 regular season. After losing to Concordia in the bronze medal game last year, men's head coach Mike Connolly predicted the 2018-19 team could be even better. Connolly expects his team's success to come from a mixture of young new players and players within the team progressing forward.
I think we're a very close team already. We have good chemistry. I think that's real positive. And we're a bigger team. I think we're a bigger, more physical team than we've been in the past. You know, we could play, we have 4, 6, 8 guys that we could play, so a little bit more physical. And I say right now our chemistry is fabulous. The guys are working hard. We've been getting through our training camp. We've been together for now, this is our 8th week of training together. And guys are ready to start to play. And we have a good group of kids, really good group of guys.
And now it's time for your sports roundup in 45 seconds.
Time for your sports in 45.
UFC lightweight champion Khabib Nurmagomedov has threatened to quit the UFC if they fire any of his teammates involved in the post-fight brawl at UFC 229. The Vancouver Canucks announced they'll be retiring the numbers of Daniel and Henrik Sundin. Henrik and Daniel sit first and second in franchise games played and points respectively. In the NBA, the T-Wolves canceled practice Thursday after disgruntled star Jimmy Butler verbally confronted several members of the Timberwolves, saying, "You need me, you can't win without me." Pittsburgh Steelers Antonio Brown refuted lawsuits pressed against him, saying they contained false claims after Brown allegedly thrashed an apartment and threw furniture off a 14th floor balcony, endangering a man and his nearly 2-year-old grandson. Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson will be going head-to-head on American Thanksgiving, November 23rd, in a winner-takes-all match on pay-per-view with $9 million up for grabs. If you want to watch it live, however, you're out of luck, as tickets will not be sold to the public. And on Wednesday night, Alexander Ovechkin passed Bobby Hull to become 17th all-time in NHL goals scored. Ovi's now 14 goals back of finishing 15th.
That's been your sports in 45.
So Jake, do you think the Ooks soccer teams can go all the way this year?
They've been looking sharp so far this year, so I'd say the sky is pretty much the limit for both the men's and women's teams.
And how about the basketball teams?
Well, it's still early, season hasn't started yet, but the word being thrown around is confidence and chemistry, and the men's basketball team is loaded with it.
Coming up after the break, Lebana and I had the opportunity to visit the Mustard Seed.
And gain insight on the work being done there.
It's our personal assistance center, and what that basically does is we allow people to come in, and they're entitled to come and shop once a month for free.
Coming up after the break, I will have your entertainment. We've got ghost stories, we've got plays based on true events, and we've got dinosaurs. All this and more coming right up.
NewsWatch jackets provided by Elite Promotional Marketing and Timberland Supply.
As the weather gets colder, more and more people are in need of warm clothing.
The Mustard Seed Community Center offers warm clothing to the city's less fortunate. The Mustard Seed Community Center collects gently used clothing and gives people the opportunity to shop for what they want, allowing them to keep hold of their dignity.
We look to meet people where they are at, so in their communities, where they're living, whether that be in a house or in a tent or on couch surfing on someone's couch in their home. The Mustard Seed tries to deal with the whole person.
The Mustard Seed receives donations of clean clothing, jackets, socks, household items. To donate, you can donate your items at the community center downtown. So, Chance, do you have any plans this weekend?
Nothing planned yet. I'm keeping it kind of open. Hopefully, there's a lot of stuff going on. Libby, what do you have for us?
Well, guys, there are so many fun things going on in Edmonton this weekend. As Halloween is just around the corner, the Edmonton ghost tours are spookier than ever.
His dead, rotting corpse.
This ghostly walk takes you through Old Strathcona, stopping in front of houses, shops, and other buildings where there have been reported ghosts, hauntings, and even murders. Yet the tour is more than just a theatrical storytelling experience. It's an opportunity to learn about the history of Old Strathcona, as all the stories are true.
It's unique that it's a theatrical experience of storytelling. The art of storytelling is something that people really don't do anymore. This is outside live theater where you're interacting with lots of other people and not only learning about the ghosts, the murders, and the mysteries, but learning about our history as well.
The Edmonton Ghost Tours will be wrapping up November 7th, as they are closed during the winter months. For more information, go to www.edmontonghosttours.com. The Walterdale Theatre's newest production opened this Wednesday. The Triangle Factory Fire Project is an emotional and moving play based on a true historic event. The show is about a brutal fire that erupted in the Triangle Waste Factory in downtown Manhattan back in 1911. The extreme fire was started from a simple cigarette, which ultimately led to the death of over 100 people. The play script was created using actual eyewitness accounts, court transcripts, and more archived material.
It's real life. People actually said these things. It's not, I don't want to say just a playwright, but it's not just a playwright writing words. These are actually people who have actually said these words. So that's kind of cool.
The show will be running from now until October 20th. For more information about tickets and showtimes, go to walterdaletheatre.com. The current feature exhibit at the TELUS World of Science will take you on a prehistoric journey. The Dinosaurs Unearthed exhibit showcases life-size animatronics, full-scale skeletons, real fossils, and interactive activities. The exhibit uses these factors to give people an experience of what life was like millions of years ago. With old and new discoveries on display, there is so much to see and learn about.
It's a really fantastic exhibit. It mixes together animatronic dinosaurs, skeletons, and real fossils. So when folks come down, they kind of see the traditional dinosaurs that they might know and love, but then they get to see these moving, roaring creatures too. So a different perspective. It's really awesome.
Dinosaurs Unearthed is only here for a few more weeks. The exhibit ends on November 4th, so if you would like to visit before it's gone, go to telusworldofscienceedmonton.ca. The only festival in the country that focuses only on nonfiction is happening right now.
But I had no flashlight. I had no police backup. All I had was...
LitFest started up this Thursday in Edmonton. It's an 11-day festival bringing nonfiction to life through engaging events with live authors and presenters. The festival is featuring writers from all across the country who will speak at numerous locations around the city.
We have over 50 authors and presenters throughout the festival. We have some multidisciplinary work, some dance, some music happening as well. There are some food events. No matter what you like reading, there will be something at the festival that you can put on your reading list.
LitFest is on from now until October 21st. For more information on tickets, locations, times, and presenters, go to www.litfestalberta.org. And that's been your look at this week's entertainment.
Wow, so much going on in entertainment. Thanks, Livy.
That's been your look at NAIT NewsWatch. Thank you for joining us.